The most humble man in football, one of the greatest defensive midfielders to ever grace the pitch, an all-round great guy, but it wasn't all smooth sailing for the nicest man in football. I'm going to take you on a journey through the life, uprising, and career of N'Golo Kante. Let's start from the beginning. Let's take it back to 1991 in Paris, where a young N'Golo was born into poverty. He grew up in a small apartment with his parents having nothing much to their name. The unimaginable happened to Kante when he was 11. His father died. A role model to Kante. This forced Kante to try and help provide for his family. N'Golo went out and started a small business. He'd pick garbage. Every piece of garbage he picked would make him some money, as he would pick up garbage that had a little bit of value and then sell it to people on the streets. All the money Kante would make would go straight to his family and go towards food and rent for their small apartment in the western suburbs of France. Kante did all he could to support his mother because she was on her own. While growing up, Kante had to overcome adversity in the streets. His parents were immigrants and didn't speak much French, and Kante spent most of his childhood playing football barefoot. He grew up to love the game, and even without proper equipment, he displayed exceptional natural talent and determination. His dedication to the sport and his ability to cover every inch of the pitch earned him the nickname the Rat. Kante's family and friends recognized his talent and love for the game, and they supported his aspirations and encouraged him to pursue his football dreams. They saw his potential and what he could do to nurture his passion. Even though financial constraints made it difficult for them to provide him with formal training or access to professional academies, he still managed to always find a way to express himself on the pitch and show what he could do. His small stature but unlimited stamina made him a nightmare for his opponents, even at a young age. Kante watched the 1998 World Cup in France, and France won. Kante was extremely inspired when he saw other players from migrant roots like Thierry Henry and Zinedine Zidane running the show. This added fuel to Kante's fire and made him even more hungry to make it as a professional footballer, because he thought, if those people from migrant roots could make it, why can't I? Despite the challenges he faced, Kante's skills were eventually noticed by local scouts. He then joined his first club, JS Cernez, located in the western suburbs of the French capital. From the very beginning, his teammates would notice his shy personality, but especially his humility and defensive abilities. He stood out, even with his teammates who were 3 years older than him. Despite his small stature, Kante went on to spend decades with JS, where he would work hard and performances started to be noticed across the country. Kante always felt that if it was not for his small size, he would have been picked up by a bigger club much sooner. This is because the typical defensive midfielder was tall and strong, unlike Kante, and they would underestimate Kante just from the look of him. No one was willing to take a gamble on the little man, except one team, Bologna. After a long decade of pure hustle and grind, Kante was picked up by Bologna and joined their youth side. Sharpening his tools with Bologna gave Kante a great start by having good quality coaches and players around him to help improve his already sharp skills. After 2 years of playing in Bologna's youth setup, Kante was finally given a chance in the first team. He came on from the bench when Bologna were already relegated in a 2-1 defeat to Monaco. With Bologna now relegated into the 3rd division of French football, this gave him the chance he was waiting for, a full season of game time. Only missing one of the games in the season, Kante impressed the fans. This led him back into the 2nd division, where he joined Cayenne as a free agent. An extremely successful season saw Kante get Cayenne promoted, and this is where he would have his first sniff of top-tier French football. Kante was making progress. In his first year in the French top flight, Kante helped Cayenne avoid relegation, missing only one league game. He also had a hand in 7 goals, scoring twice while providing 2 assists. Kante had a decent season, you could say, with some very impressive individual performances. He started noticing a lot of eyes on him. People were talking about him. He gained a reputation with French football fans, and his name was often talked about. A lot of teams wanted him. Now, as Kante was gaining a reputation, a lot of teams were after him. But one team took a big gamble on Kante. Leicester City. They paid 9 million euros for him, and a scout named Steve Walsh noticed him. And take what was at the time a very risky gamble, Kante fit the profile Leicester were looking for, and he signed to be one of the successors of Esteban Cambiaso. Little did Premier League fans know that this was one of the greatest Premier League signings to ever take place, and was to go down in Premier League history. Steve Walsh was also the brains behind the signing of Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez. All three of these players coming from unlikely sources at teams you wouldn't expect for the best players to be. These three signings were extremely important for Leicester, as the unimaginable was about to happen. At an incredible 5,000 to 1 odds, Leicester won the Premier League. What will never be repeated was insane. Kante was a pivotal part of Leicester's success that season, and will go on to be included in the Premier League team of the season. He was part of the team with Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy. They were scoring all the goals, so obviously they got all the attention. But they wouldn't have been able to do it without Kante being one of the best defensive midfielders in the world at the time. He was being noticed from all over the place, and it was only up from that point Kante was gifted with a huge money move to Chelsea in 2016. And from there, Kante's life has been amazing, with a regular starter for Chelsea and being undeniably one of the greatest defensive midfielders in the world. Kante went from poverty in the suburbs of France to having the world at his feet. And the best thing about the Kante story is that the man has always had a huge smile on his face and has never failed to make people laugh. He's an incredible man and player, and I hope Kante can improve down this path for the rest of his career. He truly went from rags to riches. Due to injuries, Kante isn't getting as much game time as we would like to see. I mean, he is 32 now, but these are the achievements Kante has earned in his career. The first outfield player to win consecutive English titles with different clubs since Eric Cantona in 1992 and 1993. With Chelsea, he's won the FA Cup, the UEFA Europa League, the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. Individually, Kante has been awarded the Premier League Player of the Season, the PFA Player of the Season. Kante made his senior international debut for France in 2016 and was included in the squad that finished runners-up at the 2016 European Championship. In 2017, Kante was named the French Player of the Year, a first for a player from the Premier League in 7 years. And 12 months later, was a key member of the 2018 FIFA World Cup winning squad. I mean, Kante's had such an incredible career. Midfielders look up to him. He's such a role model for the kids, man. Now, that was the story of the happiest man in football, N'Golo Kante. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to see the insane lifestyle of Neymar Jr., click on that video. But for now, it's been the Football Cave. See ya.